Hey guys, I'm Sonika. In today's photography tutorial, I'm gonna share with you 50 tips for Raynox photography. That's right, not 10, 20, 30, 50. That is all my tips for Raynox and macro photography clubbed into one video. I hope you're excited because I am. If you like my video guys, give me a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And now enjoy the video. Hey guys, I'm Sonika and today I bring to you 50 tips for Raynox photography. And although these tips will work better if you have a Raynox DCR 250 or Raynox DCR 150, you can apply them to macro photography in general too. If you have a macro lens or extension tubes, you can still apply these tips there. I hope they are useful to you. And without further ado, let's start.
50 tips for Raynox photography. Number 1. How to attach. Raynox lens comes in such a box with a universal mounting adapter. Screw the Raynox into the adapter and clip the handles to the very front of the camera lens. It grips onto the thread that usually holds a filter. It can clip into any lens having a diameter between 52 and 67 mm with this adapter. If the lens diameter is not in this range, you will have to buy another adapter. Number 2. Think about focal length. The more focal length you have, the more magnification is provided by the Raynox. But you will find it easier to start with shorter focal length, that is around 50 mm, and then gradually increase your focal length to 70 or 100 mm. Number 3. Use narrow aperture. The depth of field of a Raynox is very shallow. You get the maximum depth of field by using the smallest aperture available to you, that is the highest f number, quite possibly around f22. Sometimes I have even used f25. Number 4. Set the exposure mode. I don't prefer to use the manual mode because it may take time to set the camera and my insect may scurry away while I'm doing that. I use aperture priority and set my aperture around f16 if my subject is small or f22 if it is considerably large. You may use a shutter priority mode too and let your camera decide the aperture. Number 5. Shoot in RAW. Always shoot in RAW format. This gives you more flexibility in post-processing and you can edit your images with more ease and bring out lost detail. Number 6. Start with still subjects. You might want to begin with subjects that aren't gonna fly away. It is exciting to capture a macro image of a butterfly, but it can also drive the most skilled photographer crazy. So begin with inanimate objects like food or plants and then graduate to things that move. Number 7. Do some research. If you want to capture macro subjects outdoor, it is worth doing a bit of research of where and how to find suitable subjects to photograph. For example, if you are looking at capturing images of insects like butterflies, it helps to study about their habitat, breeding seasons, and what behaviors you should expect to encounter, etc. Number 8. Learn the basics. Look up a few tutorials on Google or YouTube and fine-tune your knowledge about macro photography. You can also read books and articles online and hone your skills every day to be a better photographer. Number 9. Go close. In order to bring your subject into proper focus, you have to go close to it. So if it is a stinging or flying insect, I avoid my Raynox there. But otherwise it works great with flowers and insects like spiders, ants, etc. Number 10. Focus right. Although you can use autofocus with a Raynox, while doing macro you may find it easier to put the camera into manual focus mode. It is also easier to focus in the live view sometimes rather than the viewfinder. Once you compose your shot, move your camera back and forth till you arrive at the correct focus and click. Number 11. Control your point of focus. Since the depth of field of the Raynox is so shallow, you need to decide which part of your image you want in best focus. For me, mostly it is the eye of my subject. As long as the eye is sharp, it's forgivable if the rest of my image is a bit off focus. Number 12. Use single point focus. Try using single point focusing when taking macro photographs. This allows you to pinpoint exactly which part of the subject you want in focus, but still it will be a task to focus right as the Raynox has a very shallow depth of field. Number 13. Stabilize your camera. You may find it easier to start using a tripod with your Raynox and gradually move to handheld. If you are shooting outdoors, adjusting a tripod every now and then tends to slow you down, and this really works best if the subject doesn't move. Number 14. Know your magnification. Bear in mind this formula. Magnification with the Raynox is equal to focal length of the primary lens divided by focal length of the Raynox. Default focal length of Raynox DCR 150 is 208 mm and DCR 250 is 125 mm. So the magnification I get in 200 mm with DCR 250 is 1.6x and DCR 150 is 0.96x. As I increase the focal length, obviously the magnification of the Raynox will increase. Number 15. Check your working distance. Working distance is the distance between the front of your lens and the nearest subject. Working distance of Raynox DCR 150 is 8 inches and the same of DCR 250 is 4 inches. If your working distance is too small, you might end up scaring your subject or blocking the light simply because you are too close. Number 16. Use external flash. Using an external flash with your Raynox is advisable as the flash helps you to freeze the movements of the subject and may add more light to the scene. Also, since I have to shoot in very high f numbers, the flash allows me to lower my ISO. Avoid using your camera's flash with the Raynox. Number 17. Add diffusion. The bigger your light source and the closer it is to your subject, the softer the shadows will be and it will look more flattening. So a quick way to make the light source bigger is to diffuse it. If you don't have a diffuser, you can make one at home using some white paper, aluminium foil and cardboard. Use reflectors. Just as in regular photography, you'll often find unwanted shadows on your subject. Hence, you may lose out on some important details. So, use a reflector to bounce the light of the flash and fill up the shadows. I have made a reflector using some white paper and aluminium foil. Number 19. Shoot in natural light. If you don't have a flash, try using a torch or a lamp to make your scene brighter or shoot in bright sunshine. I clicked this image without any flash as my insect was in direct sunlight. In fact, the flash would have looked unnatural here. Number 20. Understand the lighting position. The next time you shoot, play around with different lighting directions and see how it affects your image. The light mostly looks best if it is coming from the side or somewhere from the back. Number 21. Modify the light. There are many options for modifiers available like domes, flash brackets and light spheres. So try to use them and see which one works best for you. A diffuser attached to your flash will help spread the light out and give you a more natural look. Number 22. Know your sync speed. Sync speed is the maximum shutter speed you can use when using flash. It varies from camera to camera. My camera Nikon D5300 has the sync speed of 1/200, meaning I cannot increase my shutter speed beyond 1/200 with the flash on. Look up the sync speed of your camera if you don't know it in the camera manual or simply Google it. Number 23. Use VR. Vibration reduction is an in-lens feature that improves the stability of an image and reduces camera shake. So when you are hand holding your lens, if it has VR reduction, it is a good idea to use it. Number 24. Mind the background. Background is as important as the subject itself. As the Raynox allows you to go close to the subject, you are likely to get a smooth bokeh, which will increase the impact of the photograph. Number 25. Fake your background. You can create a fake background by using decorative paper or even just plain white or black cardboard or cloth. Just clip the background onto a stand or hang it against the wall. Number 26. Shoot at eye level. It is best to perform macro photography at the eye level of your subject. By positioning yourself this way, you will increase the depth of field, ensuring you have the maximum of your subject in focus. Number 27. Get low. Don't be afraid to get down and dirty, as the most interesting point of view is often that of an insect. If your camera has a live view mode with a swivel out screen, it makes for more convenient viewing. Number 28. Compose in camera. Whether you are shooting macro or any other photography style, a photographer should learn how to improve their composition in camera. Instead of cropping a photo of an insect to make it look larger, increase your subject magnification while shooting so you get to keep your original resolution. Number 29. Learn about composition. Study the various rules of composition and use them to improve your photos. Remember the rule of thirds when holding the camera to your eye and try to position your subject as per the lines. Leaving space in front of the creature's eye can be very appealing. Number 30. Learn to see. Start paying attention to the small details wherever you go. For example, instead of looking at the whole tree, look closer at the bark or the individual veins of the leaf. Number 31. Experiment with subjects. There are a variety of subjects which make fantastic macro subjects like insects, flowers, water droplets, coins, eye, or just anything small but intricately detailed. Choose a subject and start experimenting. Number 32. Be patient. You will need a lot of patience to get a good photograph. Keep moving your camera till you get your full subject in focus. Spend some time on a single subject, then changing your subject every few shots. Number 33. Location and weather. Though there might be conditions when the background light or shadows are more ideal than others, you can capture macro images during every season. And since much of the macro photography is concentrated on nature, you will have a chance to get great shots any time of the year. You can go to a dedicated park or start with your backyard. Number 34. Capture the details. Macro photography is all about the details. Your goal is to capture the texture, shapes and details of your subject. Number 35. Keep it tidy. When you're capturing these details, everything shows up. Dust, hair and fingerprints that you can't even see with the naked eye suddenly become annoyingly ultra visible in close-up, highly magnified photos. Number 36. Use water droplets. Take a picture of flowers right after a rain shower or spray some water on the flowers yourself. The water droplets on flower petals or the leaves will add interesting details to your image. Number 37. Move slowly. Some insects are more tolerant than others, but always move slowly. Absolutely avoid making fast or hectic movements, as they will scare off the bugs. Number 38. Take multiple shots. The more photos you take, the more chances you will have to experiment and the more opportunities you will have to get the perfect shot. This is especially true of macro photography, where you may not get another chance to be so up close and personal with your subject. Number 39. Try many angles. Try to find uncommon angles, such as shooting the subject from the side, from the front, from below. Make use of your flip out screen if you don't want to crawl on the ground. Number 40. Check your LCD panel. Use your rear LCD facility to ensure you have got the shot you want before moving on. Look carefully at the corners to make sure there are no intrusions. Number 41. Use the histogram. While you are reviewing your photo, also make it a habit to check the histogram. It will help you determine if your shot is well exposed or not, because your image may be sharp, but if it lacks exposure, your efforts may go in vain. Number 42. Focus tag. Since you get a very shallow depth of field, it may get difficult sometimes to bring your entire subject in focus in one shot. So you can focus tag, meaning only one part of your subject will be in focus in one shot, and then in the next shot you have another part of your subject in focus, and so on, till you make sure you have clicked all the parts of the subject in focus in different images. This works best if your camera has the support of a tripod. Then bring your images into your post-processing software and stack them up. Number 43. Edit your images. You should absolutely enhance the colors of your macro photographs in post-production. That way you can bring out the beauty of your subject and create a photo that really wows your audience. You may use any software that you have access to. Number 44. Share your work. After editing your images, pick up the best ones and start sharing them online with your friends. Take feedback from other photographers so that you can find out where you need to improve. Number 45. Practice a lot. The old saying, practice makes perfect, is particularly applicable to macro photography. You can practice your macro photography in your backyard or photograph the tiny objects at your home that look fascinating at super close-up range. I have literally tried my Renox on every vegetable in my fridge. Number 46. Shoot by a window. Windows work as perfect diffusers when taking photos indoors. You can shoot by the window almost any time of the day. All you have to do is place your subject beside the window and start shooting. Number 47. Make mistakes. I am a firm believer that there is no better teacher than your own mistakes. It is okay if your shot is not tack sharp, or if your background is cluttered, or you cut a part of the flower in the frame. Mistakes are what will make you a better photographer if you are willing to learn from them. Number 48. Respect nature. Never harm the insect or flower that you are photographing. Always choose patience-based techniques. Each life, no matter how small, should be respected. If you don't, it will somehow show up in the image and you will harm your credibility as a photographer. Number 49. Be creative. Don't be afraid to be creative and experiment with things, even if they sound crazy or silly at first. If you can visualize your idea very clearly in your mind, sooner or later people are gonna understand your thought process and appreciate your creativity. Number 50. Enjoy. I love macro photography because it makes me appreciate the beauty in everyday things that I may never notice. The dewdrops on the leaves, the bubbles in the water, pollen of the flowers constitute a macro world of their own.
So guys, I hope you liked this tutorial where I share with you my tips for Renox photography, and my Renox works great guys. I've been using it for over 3 years now and it has never deceived me so far. It is not a macro lens, but it definitely gives me great magnification to rival a macro lens, and I've clicked some great shots with it, which I've showed you today in this tutorial, and I hope you like them. In case you did, give me a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below about which Raynox tutorials you want to watch next on my channel. Share this video with your friends and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also turn on the bell icon to be notified whenever I post new videos. Here is my previous Raynox tutorial. Please go check it out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more such videos every Wednesday on my channel. Bye.